I'm Jacob Dixon. In my last lesson of nonsense, you learned about prefixes. The prefix in, which you learned was about how to make things more than they were. Now, we're learning about suffixes, or just one suffix. And these are letters which goes at the end of a word, and we're going to learn about today. E-R. Tells you the job a person does for a living, okay? For instance, I teach for a living, therefore, I am a teacher. Dance. I don't dance for a living, but a lot of people do. They are dancers. You don't put another E here. You don't say dance-ear. You just need to add an R here. Dancer. If you dance for a living, you're a dancer. If you teach for a living, you're a teacher. If you paint for a living, if you paint walls, nice portraits of people, the little lines on the street, you are a painter. Huh? And if you write for a living, if you make money making crappy books like I do, you are a writer. You write for a living, right? Teacher, dancer, painter, writer, all with the and it doesn't end here. It tells this it always tells you what a person does for a living. For instance, someone who's cold, someone who always ignores you or gives you the shoulder when you want to talk to them. He's being cold for a living. His job is a colder. Yeah? Stay away from him. He makes money being cold to people. He is a colder. On the other hand, someone who is hot, someone who is extremely attractive and who makes the rooms light up everywhere he goes. That person does this for a living. So he is a hotter. He's a hotter. He makes the room light up when he walks in. But this guy is a colder. He walks in and he ignores people all the time. Let's go on this side of the board, shall we? Now, someone who is tall. He makes money just being tall, just walking around, towering over people. His job is a taller. He's a taller. I am a taller. I make money being tall. On the opposite, we have someone who is short. Right? And he earns money being short. So that person is a shorter. I'm a shorter. Shorter. I'm a taller. I make money being tall. I make money being short. Hi. Right? Shorter, he makes money being short. A taller makes money being tall, right? Something else on the similar vein. People who are short for a living, sometimes they don't like being called shorters. They're small. Being small for a living, like a mouse or a rat. The rat is making money being small, so he's being a smaller. That's it. He makes money being smaller, and a lot of money at that. So because he's so small that people have to kill him for money, like an exterminator. Smaller, shorter, taller, and we're on taller. Another fancy word of being tall. Big. Now here's the tricky part. Now someone who's big for a living is a bigger, but we have to add an extra G here. Because if we don't, it'll just be biger, right? We don't want that. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a biger. A biger? What are you doing here? You should be over there. No, we don't want a biger. He's a bigger. He's big for a living. He makes money being big. Being big means could be tall, be fat, strong, muscular. Either way, that person's making money being big. This person's making money just being tall. This one makes money being short. That one makes money being small. This guy over here makes money being cold. He's a colder. And this one makes money being hot. He's a hotter. Now here's the best one. Oh yeah. Someone who's cool. Someone who just sachets in the room. Someone who struts 24 hours a day. Someone whose feet don't seem to touch the ground whenever he walks. He is so cool. Someone who has a picture of himself on the wall and on the ceiling, and every time he looks at himself, he gets aroused. He is being cool. And his job is being cool. Therefore, he is a cooler. Yeah, look how cool I am. Look how I can just glide in the air. And I have a nice steady rhythm whenever I walk. And whenever people see me, they say, oh, that guy is cool. I want to be a cooler too. How much money do you make being cool? I make so much money being cool. That is so cool. I'm going to be cool too. A cooler. That's the best job to have, everybody, of being a cooler. So what have we learned today, ladies and gentlemen? We've learned about a suffix, which goes at the end of the word, and it tells you exactly what that person does for a living. Teach. If you teach for a living, you are a teacher. If you dance for a living, you're a dancer. If you paint for a living, you're a painter. If you write for a living, you're a writer. Now remember these two words, if they already have an E at the end, you don't need to add an extra E and then the R. You don't say you're a dancier or a writer, right? Just dancer and writer. And also, if you are being big for a living, you get paid to be big, you're a bigger. If you get paid to be tall, you're a taller. If you get paid to be short, you're a shorter. If you get paid to be small, you're a smaller. And if you get paid to be cold to people, you're a colder. If you get paid to be hot, to light up the room, you're a hotter. And if you get paid to be cool, you're a cooler. There you go. Your homework this week, ladies and gentlemen, is to put all of these words in sentences of your own, and I will check them next week. And by the way, next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on suffixes. Which suffix are we going to use? You'll have to find out next week. So thank you for joining me on this week's edition of Lessons in Nonsense. I'm Jake Dixon. Please leave your comments below, and I will try to respond to as many of them as I can. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I got 240 high tops, 460 laces. That's 10 beds I copped out the factory traces. She came real basic, no smear on faces. Cake to crack shells, blue drinks and biscuits. Then dipped in knock boots, but that's none of your business.